another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, and Game Source. We truly appreciate everyone out there listening to all of our great shows. And if you can, please give us that 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. Plus, if you can share, they know, they remember, and they know, Joe. Plus, if you can
I've never been so happy for pain in my life.
Plus, if you can share, subscribe, follow, or do whatever it is that you can to support us right here at the Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends of pop culture. And I've got a great episode coming right at you on Monday, covering CES and so much more. Plus, Inside Sports Fantasy Football. We'll get right on the right track after the tragedy. We'll go ahead and talk about the closing of the fantasy football leagues, how everything ended up, MVPs for fantasy football, and of course, everything that went down this season, the best of, and also an outlook for the playoffs as well. Plus also as well, Game Source, and of course, everything that we do right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Please like and subscribe. We lost a ton of subscribers on our last episode last night because we decided to kick all of them out that were being naughty. So we lost a few subscribers, so we could use some back. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe today, wherever you get your podcast, whether it's YouTube, Trovo, Twitch, Twitter, or wherever you get your podcast, including our fans on Facebook, and a big shout out to them as well. Plus, again, our good friends at LakersBall.com. Go ahead and check out Joe Soro today at LakersBall.com as Ox1947. And if you want your lawn transformed into something much more beautiful than it is today, just go ahead and check out Simblades. Simblades with the Y.com. Also, as well, I want to mention, again, we had a great time. I will tell you, the second half, you should have watched Joe and I on the Lakers Fast Break live watch party right there at playback.tv. You missed a great time. Joe and I were all over the place, just like this team, just like this game. What a fantastic game. And you can go ahead and check it out with us each and every time out at playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Plus, Lakerholics.com. Go ahead and check out Jamie Sweet and Laker Tom at Lakerholics.com. Our good friends at the Hoop Heads Podcast Network. And if you could support all of that, it is sincerely appreciated. Well, Joe has got some wings in his future, and I do too. Although I'll have to do it here. I'll go and buy some from Buffalo Wild Wings and then bring it over here because you know what? Joe and I owe you out there some wings, or some wing eating, I should say, because the Lakers came into tonight on a back-to-back, a little bit tired, but you know what? They're riding high on a 4-game win streak with the playoffs now clearly in sight. The play-in is now clearly in sight because the Lakers, after tonight's game where they went into SacTown, making sure they can go ahead and get out the victory. And sure enough, they did. Great offensive performance from the team. Defense, as you saw, was not at a premium tonight for both sides, but the Lakers prevent SacTown from lighting that beam and gutting it out with a tremendous team victory tonight, 136-134. The Lakers now go to 19-21, right smack dab in that mix between 6th to 10th. They are now in the conversation squarely for the first time all season long. We can now start talking realistically about the NBA playoffs because the Lakers are firmly entrenched in that conversation after a brilliant, hard-fought, awesome game and a very, very hard-fought 136-134 victory over the Sacramento Kings. A tremendous team performance. I'm going to run down the stars. Of course, it starts with LeBron James, 14-28, still struggling from outside as far as the three is concerned, but 8-9 from the line, 37 points overall, plus 13 on the plus-minus, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and sometimes he had to play center because of the foul trouble that we had. Thomas Bryant, what a tremendous game for him. What hustle. The guy was absolutely gassed, but still gave it his all. 29 points, 14 rebounds, a tremendous performance by him. Dennis Schröder, again, with another fantastic game. 7 of 7 from the line, 4 of 5 from 3, 8 of 11 overall, 27 points and a plus 13 for him. And Russell Westbrook off the bench, plus 13 for him, 23 points and 15 assists. And again, the Lakers pull out the game in the mere seconds with some clutch free throws by Dennis Schröder, 136 to 134. And Zangerstein and everybody else in the chat room, the best Lakers chat room that is out there. There's nothing better than right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Thomas Bryant is now playing out of his mind. Dennis Schroeder's been playing absolutely superb. Russell Westbrook is giving you what you need off the bench. And here today to talk about all the great things, including all the heart and soul that Juan, Terrell, Terrence, Zangerstein, they're all talking about. It's a good man indeed. You got to go ahead and check out what he's doing today at Simblades with a Y.com and, of course, LakersBall.com. It is Joe Soro. And Joe, again, this is the first time you and I could really start talking all season long about the Lakers being in the playoff mix.
This was, I would say, the most entertaining game of the year.
I agree.
As great as the Milwaukee game was, this reminded me of Game 5. I know I'm going a little bit above. That was a playoff game. This is a regular season game, but I kept getting the Denver Nugget Laker Game 5 in 2009 Western Conference Finals feel, where every quarter there was a tie score. Now, in this particular game, the Lakers were down 1 after 1 and were tied at the end of the first half, tied at the end of the third. And I mean, they ran that back and forth until right around the 4-minute mark. And they pretty much continued it till the end. And it was to say this win was important is putting it lightly for 2 reasons. Number one, Sacramento had been whooping our rear ends for a better part of a year. They were whooping it even worse the last 4 meetings, including the preseason. The Lakers played a back-to-back game tonight from LA to Sacramento with LeBron playing back-to-back, and really couldn't stop the Kings. But they couldn't stop the Lakers either.
Yes. It was not a defensive showcase.
No, it was not. And the Lakers they're in a stage right now where their confidence is so visible, whether it's Dennis Schroeder or is it Schröder? Is it Schröder?
It's Schröder.
It's Schröder, right? I want to pronounce it correctly if he's going to be my Laker player. Dennis Schröder, Thomas Bryant.
You would say that for the Sacramento Kings players.
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute here. The future starters, stable starters, Thomas Bryant, Dennis Schröder, LeBron James. These guys came and they played well. And Russell Westbrook came off the bench and dropped 15 dimes and minus a couple of boneheaded plays, played absolutely phenomenal basketball, and the team played phenomenal basketball. I said during playback that I was, even before it was all said and done, I was very, very, very proud of this team. And I hate to have to pick one out of the group to be the player of the game, but we have to go with Thomas Bryant. Thomas Bryant won this game.
The guts on that kid today. I'm telling you, since he got into the starting role, just, man, the effort's there. Unbelievable. It
was an effort that was playoff-esque. He made a rebound. I believe it was at the beginning or right around the mid-fourth quarter time. I didn't get a chance. I'm good at looking at the time when those plays happen, but right around mid-fourth quarter where he contorted his body, didn't cause an over the back, got the rebound and jumped it back in. Actually, Rodman might not be the right pick. It reminded me of Kobe's rebound in the San Antonio series where he missed the shot. Fish got the rebound. Fish shot the shot. Kobe went to the rim, contorted himself, got the rebound, and put it back. It was just absolutely everything that I asked for, everything that I yearned for when it comes to these guys playing the way they're supposed to play. And tonight, the Lakers played basketball the way basketball was meant to be played. And they had a great opponent that was going toe-to-toe. During a game like this, I will admit I am obnoxious and I hate the other team. But when the dust settles and the game is over, you also got to give De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, and that crew a lot of credit because they made this game one of the best games of the season for me anyways, and not just a Laker game, just in general. This was a phenomenal game for a January regular season game. I was thoroughly entertained. The product was amazing tonight, minus obviously the defensive situation there.
And the refs. Tell us about
the refs. The refs made up. The refs made up for that boneheaded call on Westbrook. He did not get fouled on that first hit. He did not get fouled. Okay, he got fouled on the second one, and it would have been continuation, and he probably would have missed the second shot, but I would have rather have gone that route where we had two for sure instead of having to sweat Schröder at the end with 3.6 seconds left. But we won. I'm not going to dwell on that. I don't care. Okay? We're here to talk about the Lakers because it wasn't just this game. This game was the topper. But the Lakers have been playing amazing basketball without Anthony Davis. What does that mean now? If Anthony Davis returns next week, which I've been hearing some noise that he may, you are now going to see.
I'm sorry, Joe. The Gotta Be the Shoes has the quote of the day. He called, maybe it's now time to trade or think about trading Anthony Davis. I thought that was just killer. Gotta Be the Shoes call of the night on that quote of the night.
I get the logic there. But that's living. That's living in the moment a little too much.
That's just awesome.
No, I want you guys.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. Yes, Joe and I will be eating wings. Yes, we will plan a day.
Yes, we're going to plan a day. This one's going to be a little bit more strategic, guys. I don't know when this will happen. The reason why I'm saying that is I need someone to be. I need a good communication setup there because if I'm going to do if I'm going to do the contest, it's got to be there. I mean, I could do it at my house or my studio, but it's not the same. You need like an audience, and you need that whole kind of charade of, hey, you got to eat 12 wings with an audience around you and things like that. And I want to make sure that the production value is really, really good. I will promise you that I'll get it done between now and the end of the season. When, I don't know. I'll have to figure out who will be able to help me with having, again,
I will go get some, and I will have it right here with a lot of hot sauce included. So I will suffer through you when that happens.
Well, I'm just happy I've eaten it before, so my body has a little bit of acclimation to it, but I've never done it without ranch, and I've never done it without drinking something. So this is going to hurt. This is going to be much different than the one-chip challenge. The one-chip challenge, some have said I cheated, but I didn't because I already told you guys I was already going to prepare for this thing. I had a milkshake before and during the one-chip challenge, so it wasn't that catastrophic. But at the same time, my body can handle spice. So combination of the body handling it and a little bit of preparation helped. But this one's going to burn. This one's going to burn pretty good. And I might not make it through 12. I might witch out with the other letter if I'm weak enough. So you guys might see me turn into a pumpkin here if I can't handle the heat.
Once again, it's the Lakers fast break. I will tell you now, it was a great game. Lakers pull it out in the end, 136-134. Want to thank everybody for checking us out. I know just a couple minutes ago, we just were having our highest number ever on the show. So you see how the win streak, how the the enthusiasm, just the play of the team. It's infectious. People actually want to go ahead and check out and talk about it and just check out how others are talking about it. So we, like I said, we just cannot thank enough for the people who stopped on by, even for just a few seconds, to check us out, because it's always welcome here at the Lakers Fast Break. If you like what we're doing, if you like what we're about, please go ahead and subscribe today wherever you get your podcasts. But Joe, yes, hit the like button. John says it right there. Hope you're feeling better, my friend. Hit the like button, subscribe, do whatever you can to help and support us, because we really, truly need it right here at the Lakers Fast Break. But the Lakers, I want to ask you this because this question came up in our live watch party on playback, and has also come up here in the chat. Your thoughts on Thomas Bryant, the effort, the consistency. He has consistently, since he got into that starting lineup, has played well. He's had no stinkers. He's had all effort all the time. He deserves to stay in that starting lineup when Anthony Davis comes back.
I mean, let's talk about basketball offenses, setups. Thomas Bryant was as good as I've seen a mid-range center play in a long time. He was making mid-range shots like Chris Paul does.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there imagining how much more room he's going to have to do that when AD is back. AD is going to be able to possibly open up some things and also back him up. So imagine you got to guard a almost 7-foot player who's got this kind of energy, who's got a lot of motivation to play lights out this year, because he is seeing a $15 to $20 million contract coming. If Thomas Bryant plays like this the rest of the year, that's what's in his future. So if I'm his agent, I'm telling him, Tommy, if you can translate this to the rest of the year, you are going to get a 4-year, $60 to $80 million contract. And as a Laker fan, I'm not really thinking about the offseason at this point with how they've been playing. I'm thinking about this year. But if Thomas Bryant and things fall in place, can't believe I'm saying this, but if things fall in place to the point where the main cogs stay healthy and we've got some momentum going into the playoffs, I mean, we're going to have an interesting run here. And LeBron is just playing well and hasn't looked a day over 30. So the chemistry's there. The confidence is there. Darvin Ham, and I know Zanger's been really, really down on Darvin Ham's lineups with these shorter players, but he did another. He's trying, guys. Today. He's trying. Okay, Lonnie Walker's out. Reeves is out. He's really trying. That's why he had Toscano Anderson in there. Unfortunately, he was not good. Or he was somewhat decent on defense, but he wasn't good. He just
plus minus. He was a minus.
He was a pretty bad one. His plus minus was pretty bad. So I don't know what else Darvin Ham can do. I'm not going to put any blame on the lineups with him. I'd say maybe I balked a little bit with Beverly's involvement in there. I think Beverly somewhat gives us a 4-on-5 disadvantage on offense because he's so bad there. And if anything, that Rob and Jeannie really need to evaluate that and try to see if we can get some freaking guy that we can trade for here. Come on. I mean, you got $13 million there. You got to find something for that money somewhere. It's just, going back to Bryant again, I've always liked Bryant. I've always liked Thomas. His first stint with us when he was in Washington, he just has a glow, a positiveness in terms of just being a really good teammate and a guy who plays his butt off. We drafted him. Guys. This is something that we keep forgetting about the Lakers the last decade. We have found some amazing players late in the rounds. And a player like this doing what he's doing, this is not just some guy. This is someone who's really who is a bona fide NBA player. And I'm just hoping that he continues this, stays healthy, and please God, if we can just get AD to be healthy the rest of the way, we have a fantastic shot to make some noise now. Are we at that area now to make some noise?
We are in that area. You have to seriously talk about us because we are in that mix for 10th place. We're tied essentially in a three-way tie for 10th place in the Western Conference.
Yes.
So let's put it that way. Yeah, I mean, when it
Yeah.
looks right now, as of right now, the Lakers, they're 1 percentage point behind Utah. Utah's 20 and 22. Minnesota and the Lakers are 19 and 21. But essentially, they're all 7.5 games back. So essentially, they are all in 10th place in the Western Conference. And they're seriously only 1 game behind Phoenix, Golden State, and Portland in the Western Conference. They seriously could be 7th if they win a couple games and things break right. That's all they have to do.
And I always pay attention to the loss column when it comes to standings that even out. The Lakers have 21 losses where the Jazz have 22. So to me, they're actually in a better position because obviously the Jazz have played, 2 extra games.
Yeah.
So the Lakers have 21 losses, same record as the Timberwolves. So they're in my
actually 1 extra game. 1 extra game.
Is it 1 extra game?
1 extra game.
40.
Utah has 42 games in.
It's 2, and the Lakers have 40.
No, it is 2. Yeah, 40.
Yeah,
42 to 40.
So
Yes,
we're looking at a position right now where if those losses stay the same, the Lakers would eventually jump up to number 10, and we're sitting in a play-in position with a first half of the season that has been as tumultuous as you can have in terms of injuries and just overall results of certain games. But, man, a lot's going to happen here in the next month, G. We're talking about we're 33 days away from the trade deadline. And if the Lakers are going to, let's say, end up in the 6th spot, I'm just picking a number here. We end up in the 6th spot a month from today. What happens then? What do the Lakers management do? If they are rampant and rolling and rocking, whatever you want to call it, rocking and rolling, in a month, continually getting better, are these guys really going to stand still and not do anything? If they do, it would be a massive travesty. And if LeBron went on TV and said, "You guys effing suck," I would be the first guy next to him holding a sign saying, "I agree with this guy 100%. So we've got a month right now to wait to see how this plays out. Because if this team doesn't have any major injuries, meaning with the guys that are playing right now, and we get AD back, I don't see these guys veering off how they've been playing. There's no reason to think they're not going to continue to play like this. I believe they've hit their stride. They've hit some kind of chemistry. They've got some kind of confidence that's been building here. And I don't see how they're going to stop playing like this as long as they're healthy enough to do it. They have won every kind of game you want to win. You look at the last 5 games. They've been on the road. They've played a good team. They've won going games at home against decent teams, bad teams. Come on. You've won close games. You've won great games that were neck and neck. You've won every kind of game. And if we want to be greedy, hey, Lakers, win the next 2 games and let's get the 500. Let's be 21-21 by next Thursday. How fun would that be?
Wouldn't that be awesome to get back to 500, to be right in the mix in the Western Conference? They are now firmly entrenched in the mix in the Western Conference. So it's really good to see what the Lakers have done, really come back after such a hard first part of the season. And especially with AD out, we thought, Joe and I off camera, we were saying it when AD got hurt, that's it. That's all she wrote. And then LeBron with his coming in and out of the lineup. And we just thought it was going to really be a season where, we don't know what to do. We don't know how to talk to you guys out there because it was looking like it's going to be a rock and a hard place because you can't tank because you don't own the rights to your pick, yet you don't have a team that's good enough to compete in the Western Conference. Well, sure enough, the Lakers maybe are playing a little bit over their heads right now without AD, but it sure looks real good. And one player that I think has really come into his own right now, we talked about during the live watch party, is Dennis Schröder. Dennis Schröder, 3 back-to-back 20-plus point games. Really, really good. Shooting very well. I know he can't keep the pace up from behind the arc. I'm not going to ask him to. But the free throws, the drives to the basket are continuous there. As long as he gets us a solid 38 to 40% from behind the arc, that's all I ask. That would go ahead and alleviate some of the problems. That would keep the lane open for LeBron and AD when he comes back. Thomas Bryant, the way he's shooting from both inside and outside the arc. Thomas Bryant will go back outside the arc a little bit more when AD comes back. I'm pretty sure of that. But the way that they're playing right now, again, let's focus on Dennis Schröder. We talked so much about Thomas Bryant. Dennis Schröder should receive a lot of praise as well, especially because he hit the last 2 free throws to win the game for the team.
Not only hitting those free throws, he's hitting those free throws all game long, and he's not even touching the rim. I mean, those things are going in Sasha Vujicic in Game 7 style. So when you're talking about, because I look at this, sometimes you got to look at not only the result, but you got to look at how the result happened. He doesn't fear anything. Matter of fact, when he was trying to get the ball, when he went 10 feet, 20 feet to the other side, Westbrook should have given him the ball. That would have wasted a few seconds. He would have got the ball, probably would have been able to hit the free throws before he got fouled and wouldn't have had to worry about it. I'm curious to see the AD. I want to see what happens with AD when he gets back. I'd love to hear some kind of an idea of what day. Will he be back for the Dallas game? I don't think he's going to be back for the Denver game, but I want to know if he's going to be back for the Dallas game.
Good point. Good question on that.
You've got a nice little gap here, guys. It's Saturday. Next week you're playing only 2 games, so there's going to be a lot of rest here. But I'm still playing a little bit of back and forth on my head with Russell Westbrook, even though he played well. Does a team out there right before the deadline finally say, okay, guys, the Lakers are not going to give us any draft picks. We got to unload these large contracts that we don't want beyond the next year. I think that's what Rob is waiting for. They're all playing chicken. But should the Lakers continue this run for the next month, should they win 3 out of every 4 games for the next month, every week, then you're going to have to move your car should that happen and no one else does. Because we need at least 2 more guys on this team. 2. We used to say 3 and 4, but there's some guys that are coming through right now. We need 2 more guys to solidify this team, to make me feel like, you know what, we have enough depth, we have enough studs to get into that playoff run, especially with Phoenix hurting, especially with us kind of owning Denver lately, and really everyone else kind of being kind of neophytes in the playoffs. Guys like the Kings, guys like the Pelicans, all these freshly new teams. The Lakers have an amazing shot at making a run should they have the correct reinforcements going into the end of the year.
Let me ask you this. Do you give Darvin Ham credit for having enough confidence in Max Christie? I know that the team with the injuries probably wouldn't have played him, but he did have to go with him with foul trouble and the injuries right now on the Lakers, the foul trouble that Wenyen Gabriel, he fouled out of the game late in the 3rd quarter, but still having confidence in Max Christie. And Max Christie, yes, he did get burned by Fox a couple times, but he stayed in there. He fought and he challenged some shots in the 4th quarter, and his height and reach made quite the difference.
Max Christie has lateral movement. He's young. He's 6'6" and long. So if you're talking about Zangerstein yelling to the hills about stop playing the midgets, Z, he heard you. He's hearing you. He's watching the film. He's showing it. My issue with Darvin Ham from the beginning of the year to now is really more of the verbiage, the cliche info, the cliche responses. That always worries me usually with people in general, not just coaches. And as of right now, it seems like Darvin Ham, if anything, has tapped into two players on our team that are known to be temperamental. And he's getting every ounce of goodness out of them. One is Westbrook, the other is Dennis Schröder. So if for anything, Darvin Ham has somewhat harnessed those two guys mentally in a way where they're playing extremely well and their team chemistry is extremely well on top of it. That you got to call it what it is. And I know some have said we're going back and forth, but I have to reiterate this again, people. We are only telling you what we've seen. When something changes, we are going to change with it because that's the correct way to interpret this.
As we see it.
Yeah, as of right now, there has been a change. There has been a change. And for us to say that when AD went down, we were going to have a problem, that is based off of history that's happened the last 2 years. The fact that it's not happening, at least for the last few weeks, is different than what we've been used to for 2 seasons. 2 seasons is a lot of material to go with. It's a lot, guys. This is not small. For the last 2 seasons, when AD has gone down, the Lakers have hurt. They've been hurt. They've hurt themselves, or they've been hurt, I should say. There was a small window, I believe, in 2021 that LeBron had a really good run with the team, but then he got hurt, and then that's when everything went to crap. But other than that little small window, which kind of reminds me of now, we've had issues not having AD in there. But a lot of guys are picking up the slack now. A lot of young guys are picking up the slack too. And Darvin Ham is pressing the right mental buttons on this team, and they're motivated. They're motivated, and they're playing with confidence. And, boy, the last few games have been so entertaining. And we can look back on that Miami game and possibly see that as a turning point in that confidence. That game might have been the turning point of the season in terms of the confidence of this team when you had both your 2 pillars out and beating a good Miami team. I know they're not playing as well as they had the last few years, but that's still a good team, and you were able to come out a winner, and you just won back-to-back games, and one of them being being the back end of a road game that you had to travel the next day.
Yeah.
So I'm very, 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 very happy, and you've heard me say this a few times. No one wants to be wrong more than me. I mean that. I'm being honest there, and I'm happy I'm wrong that these guys are coming through in AD's absence. I would love to be wrong when it comes to things like that because we're about the winning, man. We're about the winning. If you guys can figure it out, then all the best blessings for you because it definitely makes for a non-wasted evening, right? I am very, very fulfilled on a Saturday night watching a phenomenal basketball game in the regular season in the NBA.
Once again, it's the Lakers fast break. The Lakers eke out a victory in a shootout, 136-134. I love the high scoring. I don't know about you guys. I do love the high scoring. I love a 136-134 shootout anytime the Lakers can pull it out. It is Gerald Glassford along with Joe Soro. Please go ahead and support Joe Soro today at LakersBall.com and Synblades with the Y.com. If you really like what we do, please go ahead and give us a shout out, either right there in the best Lakers chat room that there is, right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Give us a like, subscribe if you can, wherever you're watching this or listening to us, so you can go ahead and support and get also the latest notifications and when we go live on the air with our next Lakers Fast Break, which I think comes Monday after the Denver game. So looking forward to that. But Howard Hill says, fabulous Lakers, strong will to win. He loves it. We all love it. I mean, as I said earlier, Joe, we've got our highest viewership ever as far as you and I doing this earlier in the broadcast. When people are motivated by the Lakers doing well, it seems to bring them out of the work to go ahead and follow what everything the Lakers are all about.
Winning is
contagious,
in my opinion, the greatest drug ever made. Winning is the greatest drug ever made in the history of mankind. And it brings endorphins, it brings dopamine, it brings all that clinical stuff if you want to know what that does. And it makes you happy, and it gets you excited, and it balances those bad things that happen during the day or during the week or during the month. And it's, sports, two of the things that are the most important things when it comes to sports is you can't fake sports. You can't fake talented players in sports, talented professional athletes. You can't just hope that, like you have to have the skill set. And there's a very few people in the world that can do it. So that's makes it special. And then on top of that, you have sports. And if you needed proof, even though it was almost a tragic situation, look what happened on Monday night this last week. And you saw everyone come together in support of someone who was, at the brink. And all those problems that people have that they manifest in their head, that's an issue, all went out the window and were focused on one thing that mattered. And sports tends to do that a lot. So those who criticize sports and criticize the athletes and call them overrated bums and overpaid bums, there are certain players out there you could probably justify that for. But in the end, guys, you have less than 0.000000001% of the population that are actually doing this. That's why they get paid a lot of money. Okay. Anyone, and this is no disrespect to teachers, anyone can be a teacher. You go get your teaching credentials, you go run the rat race there, and you can do it. You can't just wake up one day and go, you know what, I want to go play in the NFL. So you don't know the difference. Now you do. So sports, winning, Lakers, this is what you get. I'd say the only team that would rile up more craziness is if the Cowboys win a Super Bowl. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. Sorry, Cowboy fans.
Once again, it is the Lakers fast break.
Yes.
Zangerstein in her chat. Oh, there he goes. He's showing the Steelers fans out there. Zangerstein just said if she thought just this right now, but maybe that dig LBJ said 30 is not working, so I had to get 40. Kind of told the team, hey, can you please freaking score? And you know what? They did. Well, again, when you're down AD, your defense is suspect. And it obviously showed in the first half of this game. And it didn't show really that much worse in the second half because it was actually not that much better. But the defense is something that's going to give us pains because it's really not that good right now. But they're doing just enough, as I stated in the watch party. They're doing just enough on the defensive end. And they're doing it a lot more on the offensive end, just enough to squeak on by these games. I really think that they're accentuating the offense, and that's what they need to do. Because defensively, you can see they just cannot get it done consistently.
If you watch the last 3 minutes of that game, you'll see that they really, De'Aaron Fox.
The effort was there. They tried.
Yeah, they really, you could tell they said, all right, guys, we can close this out, but we're going to need to that's why Thomas was so tired. He was trying to do both. If you watch, there's very few people out there that can do both. There's a reason why you have Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. I don't like to pick the centers because they usually sit back and wait, but you're talking about perimeter players that are both just as good defensively as they are offense. Those are even more rare breeds. How many guys that are first All-NBA, first All-NBA defense? So a lot of times in the NBA, you have to pick one. And with the Sacramento Kings, you can't really play stout defense all game long. First of all, the rules don't let you anyways. You don't really have an AD to erase things in case you need to funnel things over. So you're going to have to kind of go toe to toe. You either are aggressive and go for the win, or you sit back and you don't really punch, but then somebody like Floyd Mayweather is going to play that game with you, but he's good at getting a couple jabs and a couple punches in you, even when you're playing defensive, playing on the defense. So you might as well just go after it. And that's what they did for 48 minutes. That's why Thomas was tired. And there's no other way at this point. You're talking about the highest scoring team in the NBA, which is the Sacramento Kings. Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah. You sometimes that's how you gotta adapt. And that's another thing we can talk about is how about that? How about the Lakers going in on a back end of a back-to-back on the road and telling the Kings for 48 minutes, yeah, we're gonna play just like you tonight, and we're gonna beat you. And they did.
No lighting of the beam tonight, my friend.
I'm just saying, man, adaptability is there's two things if you're going to learn anything in life: confidence and adaptability. You have those two things, you can do anything. You can do anything. And the Lakers showed that tonight. And they've been showing it even before, but really tonight they did.
And they had the rest. They hadn't played since the 4th. And that was at home against Atlanta, and they lost then. So you figured they would be motivated coming out tonight. And offensively, they played a good game. And down the stretch, they were relying on Fox, and Fox was hitting for them. And still, they couldn't get it done. And again, all the credit goes to the team play, the fact that there was more than one person reliant on this, the fact that there was no ISO balls, no hero balls. It was all a team effort. And even the mistakes down the stretch that there was a couple, one that Russell Westbrook made and one that LeBron made that you talked about on our live watch party. And the Lakers still were yet able to overcome that. Smart plays, a great defensive play by Dennis Schröder, tipping the ball away and actually getting the ball back for the Lakers. Really an incredible play when they knew that the ball was going to go to Fox. Really smart play. And then, of course, he hits the free throws. Again, a great team game, team effort, which is what you like to see.
Yeah, there are those boneheaded plays that Westbrook and LeBron do that it's usually always that, why aren't you just shooting the layup? I understand. I can at least criticize you for missing a layup because you've got a distraction there with the defense, but
at least you tried to shoot.
Yeah, but
really
this last second passing to, I don't know where they're going. It's like, dude, just go to the rim. Stop making that dumb pass. LeBron should not be doing that play. He is smarter than that. Why does he keep doing it? There's no reason for that. Now I'm hoping that should be, ascend to where we're hoping they go to. I'm hoping they don't do this when it matters in the playoffs, which I don't think they will. But at the same time, the reason why there's so much stress right now with these wins, and where I did enjoy the game tonight, but I probably would have enjoyed it much better if we weren't sitting at 18 and 21. We were sitting at 25 and 15. It wouldn't have hurt as much to lose this game. It hurts right now because we're trying to get out of this hole. You see what I'm saying? Because there's plenty of games where there was a game that was amazing and they lost, and because they were second seed halfway through the season, you're like, the other team made some good shots. It is what it is, but at least it was a good game. But this one it's harder to not be stressed over every game at this moment because I'm so desperate for them to just get out of this below 500 rut. We got close, a month ago, and then all of a sudden we lost 5 in a row, and it just completely crashed everything. And I don't want that to happen again.
Well, I'm very glad and very happy for all the fans out there. This is something we've clamored for all season long, a consistency with this team. I don't still think that this is going to be something that this is not unsustainable as far as getting to the playoff mix. I mean, you and I have been down on the team all season. I ranked them 10th. You ranked them 9th as far as in the Western Conference in our predictions for this season. I still think that the Lakers 3 through 15 are not the greatest bunch of guys in the world, but they are utilizing whatever talent that they have. Darvin Ham, I think, is, as Zangerstein said, starting to learn the gig more, starting to learn as far as him being a head coach, more and more learning from his mistakes, still doing some things that I know Z doesn't like and that a lot of people out there don't like as far as the small lineups are concerned, but he's learning to go ahead and at least to adjust a lot more. And that to me, I think is worth something. The fact that the Lakers did not fall apart in the third quarter, I think is a step in the right direction. I really want to see them do that even more, that they can go ahead and be more consistent in the third quarter. Just these little things are helping the Lakers win games. It seems like it's been a little of this and a little bit of that, a little bit more consistency here, a little bit better effort there. If they can continue to do that, my friend, we could actually see them really get into the playoff mix even more.
Well, because I would say we've been fortunate to struggle in a year where your top seed and your bottom seed are a few games behind each other. And now you're going to have you're going to have your essential co-MVP coming back, and your role players are picking up the slack. So now you're going to insert AD. Now imagine AD in this game tonight. We probably win by 10 tonight because Sabonis isn't doing what he's doing with AD there.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. That is exciting. That is very exciting. The problem, though, is I don't know how exciting I can get even when AD comes back, because I'm always going to be worried that he's going to get hurt again. So we're going to have this kind of thing in our chest until the year's over with AD. But this is a good way to,
as long as AD is a Laker.
Yeah, I don't see the AD going anywhere.
What I'm just saying, as long as he's a Laker, you're going to have this fear that every time he falls down, that's it. He's going on the injured list. It's just, like I said, street clothes, AD.
Well, this was worse.
Anthony Davis, as I said earlier.
Well, this was worse. This was worse because this was not a torpedo that dropped on his leg. This was just
non-contact.
Yeah, and the non-contact stuff sucks.
Yeah.
It's always worrisome.
The navicular bone, if
Yeah.
I remember correctly.
And I don't know how, is he going to have to play with pain the rest of the year? Is he going to have to get a surgery during the offseason? I don't know. I'm not a foot doctor. I'm not a podiatrist, but the important part here is
it's not a break that just really would have done him really that would have been his season right there.
Sure. So I guess we can enjoy what's been going on based off the fact that we still have a big player coming back. And then at that point, just don't get hurt anymore, AD. The hope part is kind of out of the hope is just not something I prefer to say about anything anymore. I just feel like it's just a do nothing word. Don't get hurt, AD, the rest of the year when you get back. And we'll have a clean shot at trying to make a run here. The only issue is, let's say AD doesn't get hurt and LeBron is playing the way he's playing and everyone's doing what they're doing. This team is going to be a top 4 team in the West. I have no doubt if this is how they play, we are looking at a team that's likely going to end in a top 4 seed.
Because you don't need a super great record to be in the top.
No, you don't. Because of the way the West has played out this year, there's no one that's separated themselves in any form or fashion. No one. And all the teams that are up there, other than maybe Denver, which the Lakers have their number a little bit, is really seasoned. They're not seasoned. They're not seasoned playoff contributors. Phoenix is struggling. Portland is kind of in there. Minnesota's above us or tied with us. Minnesota.
Well, let me give you this. Hold on. Phoenix, Portland, and Utah are 2-8 and 3-7 respectively. As far as all three of those teams, they've really done bad the last 10 games. All three of those teams.
The Mavericks are a one-man show. The Clippers are always going to clip. They will win nothing. You can say that the Warriors might be a problem when they wake up, when they turn it on. I don't believe that's how that team works. There's only been one team in the history of my NBA watching basketball that's ever turned it on, and that's the three-peat Lakers. And I've had people say, well, what about the Bulls? What about the Bulls of the 90s? Because they're dumb and they don't really think. I go, listen, first of all, the Bulls never turned it off. Okay, they won 72 games that last three-peat. They won 72 games, 69 games, and 62 games. They never turned it off. I think Michael played all 82 games in that last three-peat except for one year. I think he played 81. So there's a difference. The Lakers, the first three-peat, or the three-peat Lakers of 2000, 2001, 2002 is the only team. And that was really more 2001, 2002, where they turned it on. And you saw it didn't happen in 03. They tried to turn it on in 03. Unfortunately, it was at the worst time because you had Tim Duncan's best season in his whole career was 03. If you had gotten 01 Tim Duncan, you might have been able to squeak by, but you had 03 Duncan, and 03 Duncan took that ball in Game 6 in LA and stuffed it down our throats to end the four-peat. So I don't believe that Warriors are going to be able to just turn it on. I think there's some major hangover from the finals on what's going on, and I don't think they're going to really recover. So the Lakers have a chance here, should they stay healthy, to make a run here if this is how these guys are going to start playing. The only issue is out east. If we happen to make it to the finals, we're going to have a problem.
Joe, let's get into the playoff mix a little bit more and a little bit further and a little bit higher up in the standings before we start talking matchups against these, my friend. Come on, let's put the card. Don't put the card for the horse, my friend. Let's get there. Let's get above 500 first.
This is not a Portland Trailblazer team who has won nothing. This is not a Portland Trailblazer team that goes into the playoffs and bows out every year in, year out for 3-4 decades. Okay, this is a team with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, two NBA champions. One is chasing above immortality. LeBron James only has one. The Kareem record will be a festive moment, but I guarantee you people will forget that in a week, if not 3 to 4 days. It'll be over. It's not a hallowed stat. The most hallowed stat in sports is the home run record. Now, NBA, NFL records, no one gives a crap. No one cares. No one cares about the RBI record in baseball. There's only one record in at least North American professional sports. It's the home run record. So LeBron will break Kareem's record, scoring record, and we'll forget about it after a week. LeBron is chasing one guy, and he has to win titles to even sit next to him at this point.
Once again, it's the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do squeak out a very tough victory. What an exciting game. 136 to 134. One of the best efforts from a depleted Lakers team all season. Just truly fantastic to watch. Great game. And I advise you, if you can, if Joe and I are there for the Lakers fast break live watch party, we try to enliven it as best we can. If we're not there, Nick Molina covers us. He does a great job there. Sean Grice is there. He comes in every now and then. So those guys do a great job heading up our Lakers fast break live watch party when we're not there. And then, of course, when we're there, we make it so much better as well. So if you get a chance, please go ahead and be a part of our live watch parties on, of course, playback.tv/Lakers fast break. Again, if you get a chance and you have not subscribed to us already, please do so. We got a couple subscribers back that we lost. We lost quite a few because I kicked a few out on our last session.
And I want to say something about that. I'm glad you did that, Gerald. I commend you for it. We've had no trolls arrive today. So we traded 8 boneheads or 10.
It was 10
heads for now 2 more, what looks like productive, information seeking, entertainment seeking audience members. We're here to provide a fun atmosphere, not a bunch of yahoos who talk about stuff behind a screen and a keyboard like cowards so that they can get some attention in their life. Okay, if you need all that, guys, go to the local park and go play with the Ducks.
Or how about Lakers Nation?
I don't watch Laker Nation. And
why don't we send them their way?
Well, I'm sure they're there. There's a lot of people watching their show. But, you have someone like Zangerstein who comes here every show and is entrenched into our discussion. There needs to be a reward and a backing up of that. So for those who are watching, who are thinking about trolling possibly, you won't be trolling long. And I love good banter, but some of the comments were just, I don't even know if it's childish. It's just stupid. Okay, their children do funny things, goofy things. They don't do stupid stuff like that. Talking about lifestyles and all that stuff. What are you doing? Like, is your life that pathetic? Make it fun. Make it fun. If you're gonna troll with some conviction. Troll with some original ideas. We don't mind that. But a lot of goofiness like that, just wasting our time saying dumb things, disrespecting the people and disrespecting the show by just saying talentless garbage. If you want to troll with some invention, and I'll commend you for it. Saying things like, I'm a narcissist. That's great TV. Because I am.
That you are, my friend.
There you go.
You are indeed. But once again, it's the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate everyone out there as far as a great crowd today. Awesome. The best Lakers chat that's out there is right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Z said it herself. Good and smart banters are great. They're just trolling for the sake of trolling and hashtag are not productive, a waste of brain cells. Well, we experienced a lack of brain cells on last night's watch party and also the last night's live post game. So yes, today is much better as far as much more calm. Everybody seems happy. We actually had our highest numbers ever earlier in the broadcast. So we cannot thank enough everybody for taking time to going in and checking us out. Jim House says Clippers are the Chargers in LA, the JV squad. Lakers they'll always be the LA royalty. The Clippers can win 5 back-to-back titles and it won't matter because the Lakers will always be number one. Absolutely no doubt about that. But then again, I've already met my quota talking about that team only because you mentioned it, Jim Howe, because you know who gets upset. So I'll go ahead and just say thanks so much, everybody out there, for being a part of what we do. Z, Jim Howe, Gotta Be the Shoes, Terrence, Howard, Douglas was great on there as far as the chat concerned. We even got a new viewer from Mexico, Daniel DV3 on Twitch. Big shout out to you. If you get a chance, please subscribe on Twitch today so you can get the latest notifications when we go live on the air with our next Lakers Fast Break after every post game. Gotta Be the Shoe says the Flippers need to surpass the Sparks first. Well said. Well said indeed. But
Taylor Swift has more banners in the rafters than the Clippers.
This is true. This is true. Zanger sign also, real talk wins. Yes, real talk will always win indeed. But once again, it's the Lakers Fast Break. The Lakers do squeak out a very hard-fought, competitive shootout. Just an awesome game to watch. 136 to 134. Joe, any parting thoughts before we head on out?
I'm looking forward to seeing how the team reacts Monday going to Denver.
Yeah,
But
that's always a tough one.
I will say this. I'm going to hope for a win, but if there's a realistic result on this one, it's, this could be the loss here for the week. I want them to beat Dallas. I want them to get a little revenge on Dallas for what they did before. Matter of fact, I think that was their last loss. Is that correct?
I believe so.
It was. So let's bring it full circle, guys. Play hard on Monday. If you can squeak out a win out of Denver, that'd be great. But I want a good showing in Dallas or against Dallas, and I'm hoping that by some miracle, if we can get AD for that game, that'd be really, really nice.
Want to thank so much Luca, Ski Life, Chris, Juan, everybody that was part of the chat that was a positive influence on today's chat. The best Lakers chat that's out there is right here at the Lakers Fast Break. You want to be part of it, please go ahead each and every time out and check us out. Subscribe today so you get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air, because we are going to go on a short week when there's only, like you said, Joe, only 2 games upcoming in the next week. So we got to fill the time up. That means we got to put extra shows. I'm thinking Tuesday, and also as well, let's go for another day. Wednesday.
I'm excited about the trivia. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
I'm
that
very
we're going to
excited
set up
about
for
that.
later this year. Absolutely not later this year. Later this month, we're going to do that. I'm going to get some more contestants rounded up and see what we can go ahead and do there. But yes, definitely looking forward to NBA conversations, because it's now halfway in the season. These teams are all right around 41 games. So we got to go in and talk about who's looked good, who's not looked good, MVP voting. So that's going to be a great conversation. We've got a Lakers History 101. We still owe you because we've been off on Christmas break. So Lakers Fast Break University has got to open back up so we can talk about the 2012 Lakers. That will go ahead and throw, I think we'll see if we can go and throw it on Friday's program, Friday. So maybe Lakers Fast Break 101 on Friday. So we'll go ahead and do that. But yes, definitely looking forward to some great shows. And yes, we're going to be doing a trivia show as well. We're going to start doing that every now and then. We're going to throw that into the mix. And of course, we will pay off the bet. We will pay off the fact that Joe will be going ahead through the Blazing Challenge. I will also go ahead and do it live from here as well. I'll make sure I go ahead and get the appropriate wings and some sauces as well. But I will have some ranch. I'm sorry. I'm going to have some ranch. I'm saying that up front. I am going to have some ranch. But I will say that it's been great talking to everybody out there. You guys have been incredible in the chat. You guys and gals have just been absolutely sensational. Joe, great having you here, my friend. Hey, if Jamie and Sean and Laker Tom and the whole crew that comes on by whenever they want to, they can't make it, you and I are still here to gut it on out, especially after a great win.
Well, Sinatra said 90% of it is being here or being there, depending on how you look at it. And we have a progressing show here. It is progressing into something that's creating an audience. And I will keep repeating this as much as I can. When you have an audience that wants to listen to you, watch you, hear you, value you as a show, you have to provide that for them. Otherwise, you're doing a disservice for you and what could be your livelihood. This is the entertainment business. We're in the entertainment business. People are working all day. People are doing things all day. And after a sporting game, especially after a win, it's exciting to listen to good post-game analysis, whatever, and be a community. And that's what this is. It's a community. I have full confidence that one day we will be the #1 Lakers podcast in the world. I have no doubt. And it'll come from because we are here. We are here and we're always here. And I say always as in we know that there's life that comes about here and there, but that's like any other job, right? Sometimes Rich Eisen isn't hosting his show, or Dan Patrick isn't hosting his show, and he has a designated hitter. Sure, that'll happen every now and then, but more often than not, this is our show, and we're going to be here, and we're going to be here for a long time. And I have no doubt that this will be number one, because I'm not going to stop. At least I'm not. I'm not going to stop until, well, if Gerald wanted to stop, then we're stopping. But I'd have to get I prefer you driving. I prefer you flying the Millennium Falcon. I want to be Chewy. I want to be Chewy.
Nerf herder. You're calling me a nerf herder.
Ooh, scruffy looking.
Exactly. Indeed.
We just went full geek, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Hey, remember what I host on my off time? The Pop Culture Cosmos, indeed.
No, you gotta do the voice.
Pop Culture Cosmos.
There you go.
Gotta be the shoes. Ask Gerald, who's my
You're gonna be known for that pop.
There you go.
Culture Cosmos. It's gonna be considered the pop.
Pop.
Gerald, let's hear the pop, and then boom.
Well, that's until my throat
happens to be literal,
out.
Right?
Well, my voice box will probably get destroyed first. But gotta be the shoes says, Gerald, who is your favorite Laker of all time? We'll close out the show with that. Joe, I want to go ahead and hear your thoughts on this, because I never really asked you about that.
Ooh,
that's a good question. Very good question. I'm going to say, because, during the 80s, for me, I loved Magic. I also kind of loved Chuck Nevitt. That was, Nevitt. I loved Vlade. Absolutely adored Vlade. Just loved the skill set because it was so ahead of his time. But I'd probably say Kobe was just sensational. I got to love Kobe. I'd probably say Shaq. Shaq could probably be my number one. It's close. Jerry West is awesome for me too.
A sole player.
Who is your favorite Laker of all time?
My favorite Laker was Magic Johnson. Kobe and Shaq were like my children. I couldn't pick between either or. I loved them both. But then at the same time, I loved Rick Fox too. And I loved Robert Horry. And I love D. Fish. I mean, it's difficult to pick a favorite when I'm adult. So if I had to pick, like I was a fan, like my favorite player was Magic Johnson.
I probably, again, for me, it's very close between all those players, but I'd probably say Shaq. I'd probably say the one I really was rooting for, maybe just by the smallest of margins, would probably say Shaq. Although, gosh, you can't help but love Kobe if you're a Lakers fan. You can't help but love Magic if you're a Lakers fan. What those guys did for Lakers history and Lakers lore in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, there's just no doubt. I mean, your emotions with the roller coaster of Magic Johnson taking you to the highs of highs, and then when he made the announcement, the lows of lows, and the emotion and the gut punch, and of course with Kobe, the same thing. How can you not have love for those guys? Those guys have been tremendous parts of the Lakers equation. Jerry West, true and true. Yeah, so many options, but yeah, Shaq for me was just the personality. I think the personality was the best thing about Shaq, as it always will be. It's not just the fact he was so dominant. It's just because Shaq was Shaq.
I love Shaq too. But the only negative I felt with Shaq is that he never embraced how great he was.
No, he never did. And I'm not going to defend it. I'm not going to defend it at all.
And it's the Bill Walton effect in UCLA. I said it a few shows ago where, he accomplished everything beyond what you can accomplish. Multiple championships, MVP. But you look at someone like Shaq and the fact that he didn't embrace how skilled and great he was. There's no reason why Shaq shouldn't have been a three-peat MVP. And what he needed to do was play during the year, and he didn't. Take things seriously, and he didn't. Shaq should have ended his career with 8 championships. Yes, 8.
Oh, yeah.
And that's always there. Kobe squeezed every ounce of his talent imaginable. And that's with a commissioner that kept him from going all the way. Because as soon as Michael Jordan retired in 98, I've said this a few times about David Stern. David,
your favorite guy.
Yeah, he was a hindrance to the product, whether it was through lockouts, whether it's through cutting Shaq's prime down because of the zone, allowing the zone in, whether it was vetoing a trade that would have probably put Kobe in the 6 or 7 title category. There's a lot of, if it was just one thing, it'd be one thing. But Michael Jordan, all due respect to Michael Jordan, he had an easy path, whereas Kobe, Shaq had to deal with the fact that the league was trying to stop them, on top of the fact that the teams couldn't stop them. And that's a lot of where my angst comes from with the league, and I take it out on the refs, because it's one thing to change the rules to stop somebody. It's another to ruin greatness. And he did it twice. He did it twice to the Lakers. Because I still believe to this day, I don't talk about it a lot, but I have before, is if David Stern doesn't put the zone in after the 2002 season, Lakers would have four-peated, because the Spurs could not handle one-on-one. They could not handle Shaq and Kobe one-on-one. Once they were able to zone up, it was a wrap after 4 years of playing that kind of pressure, that kind of ball. Yeah, I went deep into this stuff, guys. It really bothers me. I look at the losses more than I look at the wins, unfortunately.
Well, today you don't have to, because today was a victory.
Terrence, I'm glad he brought that up. Terrence, I've cried for 2 people in my life that weren't family and friends, Magic and Kobe. Now, talking about Magic, had he not had a situation, I believe either Barkley or Hakeem Olajuwon would have been a Laker. There was a lot of rumblings in the early 90s about Hakeem being upset in Houston and Barkley almost coming to LA. If Magic doesn't get HIV, I am positive that either Barkley or Hakeem would have been Lakers. And that would have been interesting. That would have been very interesting, how things would have played out. And that
would have made the 90s a lot different, that's for sure.
Yeah. And I've said some really cool, I've thought of some kind of off the wall stuff, like what if you insert Kobe on that Knicks team instead of John Starks?
This is what happens when you just have to sit in the middle of Southern California freeways. You got a lot of time to think.
Well, I'm just I'm an NBA guy. I'm an NBA, I know a lot about the Rochester Royals, which happen to be the team we played tonight.
When you say that though, can you not have the Steelers hoodie?
Well, I'm a fan of the Big Three. I am a diehard fan of the Big Three, and I'm very knowledgeable in all 3 of the major sports in North America, which is the NBA, the NFL, and Major League Baseball. This is my life. I've watched. I'm not going to do this again next year because I'm too devastated still till now. I am not watching 120 regular season baseball games anymore. That's over. I'm not wasting my time anymore with.
God bless you.
With a team that wins 111 games and then wins 1 game in the playoffs, 1 after 111, and then does nothing to remove any lack leadership. Instead, they're just, you got to kind of draw a line sometimes. But I've watched all the Laker games except for 1 this year, and that was more of a protest.
That was a protest, yes.
No one wanted to play, but we're entrenched in this. We're here to, if we're gonna have a show that's gonna show evidence, knowledge, interpretation backed up by legitimate results. Well, what are we doing here? Are we just going to come and just yap like the guys on ESPN and Fox so that they can entertain the masses with just kind of empty stuff? Talk about rehashed BS like who's the best player ever, who's this better ever, who's this ever. It's like, Jesus Christ. You guys have these production meetings, and that's the subjects you guys pick. You guys are getting paid millions of dollars to talk about nonsense, stuff that doesn't matter. Who gives a crap who the greatest player is? I want to know what's going on now. Why is LeBron playing the way he's playing? Why is Giannis doing what he's doing? Is the audience not understanding that? I think there's an audience out there that needs to be taught the right way or given the right information. If you're just going to play the heel in wrestling to entertain, it's already been done. Do something original.
Something like that.
Howard, that Skip is.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say.
Skip is a douchebag. And I stopped calling people douchebags unless they were really douchebags.
He's a caricature of himself.
He is an absolute asshat douchebag, okay? He has made a career being the ultimate troll with absolutely disgustingly low rent talent. I say it to his face.
Better myself.
I'd say it to his face, and the chickens have come home to roost, or the rooster has come home to chicken, whichever one you want. And hopefully, there's two guys. The second I hear their voices, and I say this, that even not even looking at them, their voice makes me change the channel. Skip Bayless and that Pinocchio-looking mother, you know what, Nick Wright. That dirtbag. Those two dirtbags make this job abhorrent to listen to if those guys are on TV or on the radio. And I just made a receipt on it. So down the road, if we become part of the big show, I'm going to probably have to answer this one day.
Joe, this is Nick Wright.
Answer for it.
Yeah. How you doing, Joe? How you doing? But I want to go ahead and end the conversation here with Zangerstein. Joe, there's a lot of people who give a crap. That's what their rating says. That's why it's so sad, because it's a trash show. And we've seen the last week of the comments made by Skip, the inappropriate timing of it, the inappropriate comments in and of itself. You know, he said these type of things literally for years, and it just, at this point in time, since the whole world has come around this Hamlin kid who suffered such a great tragedy, it's finally now that you know, he gets called out for some of the crap he's saying, and I'm glad, because the fact that he deserves it. He deserves all the the crap that's being thrown his way. And you know, just Sharp, though, saying he's so offended he couldn't appear the next day on the show. He's your co-host. He's been saying this stuff for years. And it's just now that you want to go ahead and
Sharp,
just protest.
Yeah, Sharp's another gutless.
Yeah, give me a break.
That is Skip or Nick Wright, but
no, but
he's a run with the masses kind of little. I'm not going to say it.
Because Skip Bayless has been saying this type of crap for years.
I'm not a fan of Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp is the kind of guy that would, if he gets enough pressure on him, he'll sway. He doesn't have any. He shows that he has it, but only when it's convenient and no one can get back at him on it. That's the kind of guy he is. And I'm going to leave it at that, because I'm not going to get into other things. But Shannon Sharp is the classic. When he gets leaned on, he cowers down really quick. The only time he gets all bravado is when he knows no one's going to criticize him.
Zangerstein says Skip was made to up Jordan and down LeBron for the older audience, while Nick was made to defend LeBron and anti-Skip, to be exact. So,
the LeBron thing,
they're not my taste. I will say
it's so easy. It's so, and again, I've criticized LeBron, but I criticize LeBron for immediate situations. I'm not sitting around making a career out of dogging someone because you know that you're going to get feedback from that.
Because you've also given him praise and credit where it's deserved.
Yes, absolutely. Because LeBron James deserves the credit for the things he does right. Guess what, people? We all do good things and we do some bad things too. And you should be praised for the good things. Now, what is good, right? That's a subjective thing. Well, in sports, it's a little easy to kind of have
an idea,
right?
Yeah.
Look, LeBron is dropping 34, 10, and 8 games
and the Lakers win.
And they win. There's no that's a black and white thing. That's not a gray area. It's the results, the stats meet. Where the criticism comes from could be, LeBron, why are you passing the ball behind you when you have a step on your guy? Go for the layup. Those type of things, you criticize it. We're criticizing what we're watching, what's going on at that moment, at that time. We're not just sitting there going, oh, LeBron will never be Jordan. Year after year after year. It's like, dude, who keeps watching these guys? Because that's why they're still on. You guys keep giving these guys attention. We're giving them attention right now. But at some point, that needs to go. But I have not given them attention when it comes to being in the truck, being at home. That channel or that channel on the radio, the second I see their show, it is going to the next channel. That's been for years, because I think those guys are what make this business terrible.
Well, hopefully people stay on this channel with us wherever you're watching it, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Trovo, Twitter, Twitch. All the options are there for you, or you're listening to us wherever you get your podcasts, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever podcast player you're playing. We just want to thank you for taking the time out of your day for checking us out here at the Lakers Fast Break. If you get a chance and you haven't already, I'll say it again, like and subscribe. What we do here at Lakers Fast Break, it really goes a long way. We're getting back near the 400 mark on subscribers on YouTube, so we're truly thankful for that. But it is the Lakers pulling out the victory, 136-134. They're now 19-21. They're in a virtual tie for 10th place in the Western Conference. Got to be the shoe says, gents, who is coming out of the East and West? It's a little too early to tell. I mean, if you want to go back to our predictions way back when at the start of the season, I did say the team that shall not be named on this show, that Joe does not want to be named, is the one I picked to go out of the West at the time because of their roster. I did say that Denver would be leading the Western Conference, and I think Joe did as well. I don't remember who you picked to come out for the finals. For me, it was
Milwaukee.
the team, huh? Milwaukee versus who?
Denver.
There you go. And I was thinking, I think it was Milwaukee also as well against the team who should not be named. And I think.
Hold on, G, come on. Just say Clippers.
You said it for me. There you go.
No. We're talking about something relevant now. I'm not talking about end of discussion.
Yes, it was the Clippers.
Where you keep bringing the Clippers up. It's like
I said if they were ever going to win a title, it would be this year with the roster they had going into the season. But you know what? They don't really look that good anymore, and I'm glad I'm wrong on that. I'm always glad when the Clippers don't win, when the Clips got a clip.
I don't pay attention to the Clippers. I honestly don't even know what their record is. I couldn't care less about that team. That team belongs. I can't wait till they're gone out of the Staples. And in the end, it was actually a good thing that they were there, because it was 2 less road games. But
well, Joe, they're only a game and a half in front of the Lakers.
The fact that they've gotten this attention anyways is just comical. They have accomplished nothing, yet they're talked about. Why? What's why? Because Kawhi Leonard can't even stand up anymore. Paul George is too busy going to nightclubs and doing his thing outside. He'll come play, he'll do his thing, but he don't care about winning championships. Come on. Who else?
Like I said, if they don't win it this year, I don't think they'll ever win. So that's fine.
I'm looking forward to this ride that we're currently on as Lakers.
Yes.
And I am going to hope I'm going to say that if AD is healthy, because I don't see these guys not playing this well. There's no reason for them to stop. AD is healthy going into the stretch run. Things are going to get interesting because of the way the West is playing out right now.
I agree. I definitely agree. But once again, the Lakers do pull out the victory, 136-134. We will be back on Monday night as the Lakers head into Denver. After that, they've got a nice homestand of about 5 games, I believe, if not memory serves. Really after that, but it is a tough one on Monday. So they're heading into the Rocky Mountains to face off against Nikola Jokic and Denver. It's going to be at 6 p.m. Pacific. It is going to be on the Lakers channel. So please go ahead and check it out on, of course, playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. It's our live watch party. Glad to go ahead and host it for you. Then, of course, after the best post-game wrap-up anywhere on the Lakers is right here. Zanger Science says, no, Joe, it's because the Lakers front office are doing nothing and was not in the playoffs for years before LBJ. And the Clippers have been consistently, that is now owned by a billionaire who can pay. Again,
Z, I don't know how old you are, but I've already seen this before. So that's where guys, I need to see it. And until I see it, I am going to criticize it, especially if there's a party or a group or whatever that keeps pumping it up into something that it's not. I watched the Portland Trailblazers for 2 and 3 years. Paul Allen, same as Ballmer, this billionaire that's got more money than God.
Good point.
Stacking those teams. And what happened? 2000, 2001, 2002. What happened was the Lakers went, 10 and 3 in 3 series. Last 2 being sweeps. And I mean, the 0-1 was a complete annihilation. The 0-2 series, Ori hits a shot to sink them for good after playing really good in game 1 and game 2.
Z says, yes, that's true, Joe, but they haven't done it yet. But I'm only speaking about why the media is talking about them. It's about money. It's always about money. It's always
about the Clippers?
I believe so. Clippers, again, they're never in the spotlight.
I honestly, Z, I'm pretty,
because they don't get the numbers that the Lakers.
I'm pretty in tune with the pulse of the league. There ain't really anybody talking about the Clippers except for Gerald. Same. Sorry, Gerald.
Hello, Richard. Salute. I hope you guys are well. Salute to the chat too. Thank you, Richard. We know you're working hard out there. Truly appreciate you stopping by. It is the Lakers pulling out the victory, 136-134. Hope you get a chance to go ahead and rewind to check out all of our great comments, especially the first half when we had such a tremendous amount of people. But every single one of you that checked out our show, we cannot thank you enough for doing so. It is the Lakers Fast Break. Please go ahead, like and subscribe where you can. Follow us where you can. If you're on Team Replay, if you're on hashtag Team Replay, like petting my cat, because I think he's going to be watching this on Team Replay, go ahead and check it out today. We truly appreciate it. If you have any questions for us, comments for Joe, questions for me, questions for any one of our panelists, whenever they stop on by, I can always get a hold of them. So please let me know at Lakers Fast Break on Twitter. Also as well on Instagram, Courtside Lakers and Lakers Fast Break on Instagram. We got 2 places to go to right there for you, plus TikTok. And of course, right below on YouTube or Facebook, you can always leave your comments there. We do get to them. Lakerholics group, I apologize. For some reason, the comments just don't get through to us as quickly. So I do try to answer it when I can, but we try to do our best here to go ahead and answer your questions and comments as soon as we can right here at the Lakers Fast Break.
Rich, are you talking about coming onto the show or are you talking business?
He says he went to the game yesterday.
He went to the game in LA.
Yes, watching the Hawks lose.
Really? Very good.
Yes, very nice.
Trade
very
jobs.
Nice. He wants to be the boss one time in his life.
Rich, if I had advice on that, when you're the
Oh,
boss.
he says the show. He says the show.
Oh,
Rich, you're
yeah.
always welcome.
Come on
Just
the
hit
show.
me up on.
Absolutely. Talk to Gerald. He's the producer. He's the magic man away from Sean behind the scenes. Magic man is the magic man on air. Gerald.
Well, you can see it. You can see it scrolling on the screen right there.
So you want to come on board? You were more than welcome to come on board. Any of you are welcome to come on board.
Yes.
To see you and hear you. I would recommend, though, make sure your production value is good. Make sure your Ethernet cable is connected to whatever device you're using. And make sure you got good headsets. Gerald, you have a very good one, I've heard.
I've got one right here. This one right here, I got at CES. I've been there for the past few days, talking with the great folks from THT Audio, Think Right Technologies. If you're interested, this is $40. So if you think this sounds good, and it sounds good as far as the headphones, the mic, for when I listen to playback, sounds almost as good as my $200 Audio Technica headset that I've been wearing for years now. So there you go. It's only $40. It's right there on Amazon. I'm going to put the link in the description below. I believe it's already there for YouTube. It's already there on Facebook. It'll be there for the podcast outlets. So if you're interested in a good gaming headset for $40, hey, right there for you on Amazon. But I will say thank you so much for everybody for watching and listening. If you ever want to be a part of what we do, always hit me up. Best way to do it is LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com because you can put in more detail there. So go ahead and hit us up there. But I am looking also for contestants, for live contestants to match up against our knowledgeable Zen masters of Lakers lore, Joe Soro and Sean Grice. So I am looking for more contestants because we do want to go ahead and do a trivia show on a regular basis coming up starting later this month at the Lakers Fast Break. And yes, Joe and I will be eating some wings. Richard says, Joe, eat before you go in the stadium. It's expensive. I got a blue parrot. Is that good?
I've never seen a blue parrot.
Neither have I.
At least not in person. So go Lakers. And
go Lakers.
Maybe bring the parrot onto the show and we can hear him or her say, go Lakers.
Could be great. There you go. Great indeed. Sovereign, thanks for stopping by as well. Just got off work. 5 in a row, fam. Glad you were hustling out there at work. Truly appreciate the hard work that you put in. And thanks so much for checking us out after a long work day. Thanks to everybody for being part of your day. Just so much tremendous support that we got, especially in the past 48 hours from all of you here in our chat, everybody out there with their comments on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. We're getting a lot of love out there and we truly appreciate it. We will be back on on Monday. We'll be back on Monday, 6 p.m. is the start time for the game. So playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. We'll have our live watch party there. And of course, after the game, Joe and I will be here. Hopefully some others will as well. If you want to be a part of it, just let us know. We're always happy to go ahead and join in on the fun right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Have a great evening, everyone. Have an awesome Sunday and stay safe. Wishing you all the best.